The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
And welcome everyone to this edition of No Credentials Required, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We're presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. This is a Saturday brunch edition. To my right is a man who needs tree fitting. That is Dustin Henry. Dustin, how are we doing this morning?
Oh, I'm doing well this morning. I'm ready and raring to go. We got lots to talk about, but first, as you mentioned, I'd like to put a call out to Kirk Cousins' agent specifically and say, hey, I saw what you did with Kirk, and I need about $350. So if we could get the negotiations underway, I would appreciate it.
Yes. Yeah, so Mike McCartney, who is his agent, no relation. Mike McCartney, if you're listening, we know you're a big fan of the show. Reach out to us. We need some proper representation for our jobs, for when we do our merit raises at the beginning of the year. But before we bring in our guests and before we discuss today's topics, just want to remind you to please go on our social medias down here below on Twitter, Instagram, and the now occasionally used TikTok. It's at NoCredsREQ. Well, we'll soon to be banned TikTok if Congress has their way, but that's neither here nor there. Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ, YouTube.com/@NoCredsREQ. And I just want to remind you to please like, comment, share, and subscribe to all of our social media channels. It'd be very kind if you did that. Subscribe to the podcast on a myriad of podcast platforms, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Good Pods, iHeart, TuneIn, Pandora, wherever you podcast. Rate it and review a 5-star review. This one, get used to the new camera setup here. A 5-star review would be very helpful. 5-star rating would be helpful. And if you're on a platform where you can review, we might even read your review on the air. And because this is a live show every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, and now the occasional Saturday brunch at 10 a.m. Eastern, we want you to engage with the show where it's a live show. And I know, Dustin, you've been waiting as a solve for this NFL free agency madness and all the sports news that's going on. We know it's a nice salvant for you in these trying times. The magical
engagement chimes.
It's a must. Engage. That's right. Engage with us. We're live. Come hang out. Let's talk some football. Let's talk some baseball. And we're also going to talk a little curling today. Yeah.
That's what they call a tease in the biz.
Indeed.
The most professional man in the business, right to my left.
Professional-ish. All right, we're going to bring in our guests. The first guest we have is from Belly Up Fantasy Sports. He is part of the you'll see him on the regular panels during the NFL season. You'll also see him on the Sports Stove Fantasy Baseball show that occurs every Sunday. We got Kevin Wilson. Kevin, how are you, sir? Oh, can you hear us?
I'm doing outstanding. I'm coming to you live from Flint, Texas, here in East Texas. We're taking some time off, so we're...
Oh, we might have...
So here I am.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. All right. Well, freezing a little bit, but that's okay. We'll manage. But we're also going to bring in our other guest who is the host of the again. Kevin's returning. He's a guest of the program. He's been on a few times, and also another man who's been on No Credentials Required a few times. He is the host of the Time to BS podcast with Staniel Smooth, coming in from Long Island, New York. We've got ourselves Dan, also known as Staniel Smooth. How are we doing this morning,
Smoke weed every day.
There it is. Expecting nothing less.
I'm in a rare breed today, boys.
Oh, me too. Me too. It's going to be a wild one.
That's right. Everybody better strap in right now.
Everyone prepared for the cynical man to join the Department of Nonsense in the Saturday morning brunch coming to us from Long Island, New York. How's everyone doing, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, we also have not one, not two, but three Seahawks fans.
That's right.
We're man, I'm outnumbered.
Double, triple. Yeah, Ryan, you're hosed because you're triple down on today. So
it's all right. I came prepared. I wore my Jets
oh
shirt.
no,
I can't say anything in the hockey front. I can't say anything in the hockey department.
Hey,
however,
you're in a playoff spot. I mean, you're in a playoff spot right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Both arms. Well prepared.
Yep. Well, we're going to get started with the fire hose that is known as NFL it's not tampering anymore. It's now the free agency period.
Aha.
Wait, I have an element for this. The Loch Ness Monster free agency tracker. Too soon.
You tried.
I need about 350.
If we weren't awake before, we sure are now.
Okay.
Oh wait, there's more. There's more.
Oh, I don't
know if we can handle more.
Oh, I posted this on our Instagram account yesterday. I also posted it on my personal account, and I shared it with Dustin. And we don't own the rights to this movie. This is courtesy of Universal Pictures from the greatest movie, one of the greatest comedy movies of all time, UHF.
Oh no.
Oh, here we go.
Oh no.
Yes, this is my summary of what has happened this week with NFL free agency.
Oh, Joe Miller, you just found the marble in the oatmeal. You're a lucky little boy, because you know why? You get to drink from the fire hose! Okay, you ready? Open wide! Joe Miller, let's hear for him!
That's one of my favorite scenes.
Where's that button? Hold on. Where's that button? I gotta find it. Very rare occasion that button gets used nowadays.
You're welcome.
You're quick on the draw there, but it's a little. I got to say, I had forgotten that old Cosmo Kramer was in there dancing around.
Yeah.
Whenever I think of Kramer, I can't help but think of the contest.
Oh yeah, the contest is one of the greatest episodes in that show's history. I'll tell you that.
I just
right there.
can't help myself, but whenever he throws out $100 and just goes, "I'm out."
Yeah. And then he goes.
I'm out of the contest.
It was that lady across the
That's
street.
right.
That lady across the street.
Yeah. At the end of the episode, he's in bed with her.
Yep.
Just, I'm out.
Oh, great episode.
Hall of Fame worthy.
Well, gentlemen, we are going to be masters of our own domain, because we got to discuss the NFL free agency fire hose, because it has been on full blast since Tuesday, since Monday.
That's right.
When the tampering period started. And I'm going to start with you, Staniel, because I know you're a Seahawks fan. Dustin talked about the Seahawks on Tuesday's program. What have you thought of your Seahawks? And I'll go over you as well, Kevin, but you're more of our fantasy guy. We'll talk about the fantasy implications too. But give me your opinion, Mr. Staniel, on NFL free agency so far for your beloved Seattle Seahawks. I can see right now he's fired up. He's getting ready to go.
So
welcome to the Drew Lock era. No, sorry, the Sam Howell era. Sorry.
I'm not mad about that. I'm actually not mad about that one.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not mad about that one, because let's be realistic here. A lot of like our fanhood being like you, all four of us here will try to guess, the exception of Ryan, because He's been through more GMs than a Vegas stripper has been through men.
That's saying something.
Yeah. John Schneider's been with this team for going on 15 years now. At some point, we're trying to us fans will try to figure out, okay, what is the GM trying to do? Dustin and Kevin, we know as Hawks fans, we will know Johnny Boy doesn't go after the big ticket guys unless deemed necessary.
Yeah.
If you noticed a lot of the moves that he has made, Rayshon Jenkins, Nick Harris, George Fant, Farrell Brown, the most notable ones that I think are the linebackers, Terrell Dodson from Buffalo, who was PFF's number 1 graded linebacker, beat out Fred Warner, by the way. And he's only
22, I think. 92.
He's 25.
Yeah.
He's 25. And if any of you hasn't noticed, Jerome Baker, the former Dolphins middle linebacker, he's still in Seattle right now. So there's probably some chances he can sign with the Seahawks. So already your linebacking core is set. If you notice a lot of these moves, they're not particularly sexy, but they're like, oh, they're good-looking moves. Like Rayshon Jenkins went off for Jacksonville for 2 years. Jerome Baker, pretty good player. Terrell Dodson, really solid player when he filled in for Matt Milano up in Buffalo. And then George Fant, who's been here before, he could play guard, he could play right tackle, he could play left tackle if needed. And
they could put him in at tight end too. Number 74 is eligible.
They could put him at tight end too. But I think the Fant move, it's a 2-year deal, and that brings a more alarming note to the health of Abe Lucas. Yeah. Because his knee might be shot. And if that means you move him inside to guard, you do that. Because I looked at his draft profile for craps and giggles, and Abe Lucas can play guard. He's more of a right tackle, but he can play right guard if needed. And that puts Bradford, the big mammoth of human being that is Anthony Bradford, put him at left guard, put either Nick Harris or Olu Olatimi at center, keep Cross at left tackle, and what else is going on here? Can we talk about the elephant in the room, please? Can we talk about the elephant in the room and say Jamal Adams is the worst trade the franchise has ever made?
Yeah, that's a horrific trade.
Thank you.
A horrific trade.
That's what happens when we deal with Ryan.
Ryan, you can't even talk. Ryan, you can't even talk in this note because the Jets' record has been horrible since 2015. You haven't had a winning record since 2015. And
you ruined a Wilson, Ryan. You ruined a Wilson, so that's unforgivable right there.
2 Wilsons.
Only one. Only one. There's another one to ruin too.
Okay.
No. You have no right to talk, ladies. You have no right to talk, my friend. What is your record since 2016? Like you have 100 and what losses?
Garbage.
Exactly. So you
100 and garbage.
Hey, let me have this one, okay?
No. I will because Jets Twitter has come after me the last few weeks when I say the Jets record still stinks, and they say they got Elijah Vera Tucker and Garrett Wilson. Okay, what's your record?
But there is truth. I mean, there is a grain of truth to what you're saying. Yeah,
not a grain. It's a whole sandstorm.
Yeah.
Shout out to Texas.
But let me get in for a second here and defend my co-host a little bit because he has been through enough punishment. Years ago, we went to a Seahawks versus Jets game, and Richard Sherman got 2 picks in a row because the Jets tried him again with the
same stupid play. 2 plays in a row. Thanks a lot, Chan Gailey.
Also, we are lucky that we survived that trick because there was a very nice man who took our picture, but he also looked like he might have been able to throw our bodies out of a car. And he might have looked like he was connected in some fashion. So,
welcome to New Jersey, hey!
Yeah. But I have to ask both of you, other fellow Seahawks fans, because I, for one, I'm not trying to be so reactionary because, like you said, none of the moves are, these big splash moves, but that's not Schneider's style. And also, I talked to Ryan on Tuesday, and I said that John Schneider, if he wants to, has a unique opportunity. Now, I don't think he could do this, but it's been known that allegedly Pete Carroll had final say on all personnel maneuvers. So
let's just say he did. He did.
Yeah, if he wanted to, he could lay the Jamal Adams trade at Pete's feet and be like, "Hey, it's a new era." He's not going to do that, but he has a unique opportunity to just kind of play carte blanche because, I'm trying to turn over the roster. We're trying to put a new footprint on it. But the one move that I was incensed about, right? I try not to be reactionary, but you got a young defense that you're trying to revamp. And so how do you let Bobby Wagner go? Because is there a better leader to show the younger players how to lead? It's not like he can't play anymore. He had 183 tackles last year. So I want to get both of your thoughts on that. And Kevin, I think we'll start with you for this one because you haven't gotten a chance to jump in. And then we see Staniel's chomping at the bit. So Kevin, give me your thoughts first, and then Staniel, we'll go in because I have a feeling you disagree with me.
I don't disagree with you. Bobby Wagner, like you said, he's a player. He could be 45 years old and he'd be a player. And so I'm not exactly sure how old he is. Maybe he's 42. I'm not sure, but he can play. He can play, and to banish him clear over to the East Coast doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. They should have just said, "Hey, Bobby, here's a contract. Sign it. We'll call it a day."
He's 33.
And okay, so he's not 42. Okay, so but it wouldn't have mattered if he was, because it'll work. He makes it work. He makes everyone around him better, and he plays, a very vital position. And he could teach those guys around him what he knows. If he didn't do that, or I'm sure he was doing that last year, but just hang him around that locker room. You've got a new guy. He's the head coach, but he's a defensive coordinator at heart. And that's the kind of guy that could, really sell the head coach's ideals to the troops. And so I think that's a big mistake, them letting him walk.
Yeah. Now, all right, Staniel, you've been waiting patiently, so I want to get your thoughts on this mood as well.
Well, should I give him the stage?
No. Let's not. It's too early.
We'll wait until our baseball segment.
Yeah.
Where was the average rank of this defense the last 5 years?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Okay,
I'll grant you that.
I had a lovely, amazing guest with a glorious beard on BS Sessions a number of weeks ago, Jackson Bevins, who is an amazing Seahawk fan, and quiet you, and and he mentioned something that's like, okay, I understand, I agree but disagree with the whole Bobby Wagner returning to Seattle or not returning to Seattle controversy. Let's call it that. If you're going to revamp this defense from one of the worst in NFL history for a good 5 or 6 year period, it's the Jordan Brooks argument, because if you wanted to keep Jordan, you had the cap space to do it. If you wanted to keep Bobby Wagner, you had the cap space to do it. You still have plenty of cap space to work some stuff out. They might not be done. They might not be done with this whole free agency period. So
hopefully not. Hopefully, no, not done.
No, they're not. There's no way they're not. But if what we know about Schneider long enough to know, he's gonna go after the smaller ticket free agents.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna wait to June. He's gonna wait to July, and hopefully August, to where he makes some splash. Jadeveon Clowney's still out there. The aforementioned Jerome Baker's still out there. You never know what else is coming. You never know what else is coming. So if I thought Bobby was gonna leave anyway, because he redeemed himself. He was unfairly treated on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Both times.
No, the one time. The first time he was released.
Right.
When he was released by the Rams, LA had no choice but to cut him. Their cap situation was terrible. The second time he redeemed himself because, like, okay, we witnessed the end of out with the old, in with the new, as the kids used to say. Dan Quinn in Washington was the most realistic option because Ken Norton Jr. is the linebacker coach there, and Dan Quinn's the head coach. He's going to call the defense in Washington. And by the way, the Commanders are brewing something good. Watch out for that.
We got to get Ryan's thoughts after his face said it all.
Let's be honest, it's still Washington.
I was gonna say it's Dan Quinn too. I mean,
it's still Washington. I
can list 28 reasons. Oh, I can list 28 reasons why the Commanders aren't going to get this year. But I'll give you only 3.
We gotta let the man talk. We gotta let Ryan
talk.
Ahead.
Go ahead.
Patience, young Padawan.
No, jeez.
Patience. It's March.
Lousy smarch weather.
All right, but Ryan, I am curious now because your face said it all.
Yeah,
so
can we freeze that for eternity?
So
I'll put up on the gram and on Twitter later.
Yeah. Okay. So what are your 3 reasons? And hopefully D Willie's watching this.
Dan Quinn, and Dan Quinn. It's kind of like the list of holds. It's like the list of holds. Look, Dan Quinn's listen. Coaches have a shelf life. All right, coaches have a shelf life. Whether you're in the NFL, the NHL, which recycles retreads. Believe me, I'm a New Jersey Devils fan. Why would you bring in Linda Ruff? I don't know. And hope to God that.
Well, see Ken Hitchcock for details.
True. NBA, Major League Baseball. They bring back, they recycle coaches, and for the first year, maybe 2 years, things work, things click. See John Tortorella. Things are starting to work in Philadelphia now. Things were working in Tampa. Things were working with the Rangers. Things were working with the Columbus. But eventually, Vancouver. But eventually, the message gets tuned out. And also, this is Washington. I mean, yes, we moved on from Daniel Snyder, but Josh Harris is an owner of several professional teams. One of them being my New Jersey Devils, Philadelphia, Crystal Palace of the English Premier League, and now the Washington Commanders. He has a history of not having great teams.
Okay, so you say that about the coaching thing, but then explain Mike McCarthy.
Okay,
Mike McCarthy's still doing okay in Dallas for the most part.
Caveat: no relation. Secondly,
well, you can explain that really easily just by saying Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
And fade to black.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yep.
That explains everything that's been going on in Dallas for the last 30 years or so.
Yeah. I'm curious to see how things will pan out in Washington. I mean, I joke around about the Dan Quinn thing, but I'm honestly curious to see what happens because things didn't work out with Ron Rivera. Of course, they were going through transition of new ownership in the summer of last summer, and things didn't work out. And Eric Bieniemy, I don't know how he didn't get the coaching job.
That's crazy to me.
We talked about that.
He didn't even get an interview.
No. And where is he now? I think he's taking over as offensive coordinator of UCLA. Yes. I think so.
Yes, UCLA.
Yeah, which is
yep.
I don't know. It's just I think Dan Quinn will put a stamp on that defense in Washington, and Bobby Wagner is the perfect cornerstone to do it. At his advanced age, he could be a coach on the field, quote unquote. and mentor the younger guys there. But I'm kind of with you, Ryan. We've seen the Dan Quinn novel before, and it's why I was happy that the Seahawks did not go get Dan Quinn, because they said they wanted to move on from Pete Carroll. You don't go get, I mean, no disrespect to Dan Quinn, but you don't go get Pete Carroll light.
Every time you say that, you know what's coming.
Yeah. You don't go get Pete Carroll light to move on from Pete Carroll. So,
Fair. That's
so
fair.
I think if the Cowboys hadn't got embarrassed by the Packers, that's exactly what would have happened. Dan Quinn would be the Seahawks head coach right now if that hadn't happened.
Yeah,
True.
that's a good point too, because that playoff loss was about as bad as, I mean, it hurt Dan Quinn's stock. There's no doubt about it.
That's right, because he didn't get Washington was it. Then that was the end of the line.
Yeah, and there are rumors out there that initially Washington wanted the Detroit Lions OC, but that did not.
Well, he was going to go there to interview, and then he canceled it.
He canceled it as the Commanders were mid-flight. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. But we've talked a lot about the Seahawks, so I want to give my illustrious co-host, the leader of this ship, are there any moves that the Jets have made that you are very happy about? And then I don't know why I'm like doing this around the horn thing, but also, gentlemen, if there is any other free agency move that you think works out for another team, give us your thoughts. But we'll start with the man who is the hardest working man on No Credentials Required, because we know it's not me. Ryan, what about your Jets?
Hey, they made a couple good moves over this week. Jets Twitter was all aflutter because they were saying, "Oh, the tampering period started. Where's Joe Douglas? Where's Joe Douglas? Why is he asleep? Where's Sleepy Joe? Where's Joe Douglas?"
Oh, Sleepy Joe! Not the first time we've heard that.
Where is Sleepy Joe? But he's made some good acquisitions. He brought in Javon Kinlaw. Let's see if he stays healthy on a 1-year deal, and a 1-year prove it deal. He's brought in he signed Tyron Smith.
I was just gonna say, where's the Tyron Smith doing? That should be the first on the move.
I was getting there.
What's the Cowboys doing with that? I don't. Their whole team has gone in reverse.
Yeah. It's what's interesting is that the Cowboys they've nowhere to be seen. They're nowhere to be seen.
They signed a long snapper. Yay, Cowboys! Yay.
Yeah, and they released Michael Gallup yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay. I get that. I kind of get that. So
it's a cost-cutting move, and
it is.
It's just. I mean, yesterday. I mean, we talked a little bit about on Tuesday with some of the moves that the Jets have made. I'm going to miss Bryce Huff, obviously, great pass rusher, but apparently Jadeveon Clowney is going to visit the Jets next week. So,
I'm not all a flutter over Jadeveon Clowney. Maybe I'm the only one, but
depth. I think what it is that they believe in Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald enough that they can be the two premier pass rushers for the next decade for these New York Jets, for this team, because you got Quinnen Williams. Like now that Aaron Donald's retired, I'm gonna say it. Quinnen Williams is going to be the number 1 ranked defensive tackle in the National Football League, I think, starting this year. So he could, but I want him to prove that he can be. I want him to prove that he can be. He could be as dominant as Aaron Donald. Getting triple team, double team.
That's a big ask. You know that.
That is a big ask, but he got paid that money last year, and he didn't hold out. He didn't do the holdout thing, the B thing where he holds out for his money. He's like, all right, I believe in this team enough. I want to be here for a long time. I'm signing this huge deal. And yeah, his numbers dropped off last year, but the reason why the numbers dropped off last year in terms of his sack total or his tackles totals, because the edge rushers were getting Jermaine Johnson broke out.
He went off.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be a top 10 sack leader this year. I believe it. And I think Will McDonald's going to be right behind him, because these two pass rushers are just Incredible. Incredible.
That system does help benefit to the front seven.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also they re-signed Chuck Clark. They let
Whitehead
go. Yeah, he went back to the Buccaneers. But they bring Chuck Clark back, who was supposed to be the starter last year until he tore his ACL in minicamp. So yeah, I'm happy. I mean, I gotta wonder. I posted this on my personal Twitter this morning. I said, here's your projected 2024 offensive line for the New York Jets: left tackle Tyron Smith, left guard John Simpson, center Joe Tippmann, right guard Elijah Vera Tucker, who's coming off of an Achilles tear. Thank God they don't have to play in Denver this year.
I'd flip Vera Tucker with Simpson. I'd put Vera Tucker to left guard, and that line is infinitely better.
That's why That's why it's projecting. And then at right tackle, Morgan Moses, who they got who not only did they get a pick back, but all they had to send was a 4th round pick. So you got them. You got your depth, which is Max Mitchell, the developing Carter Warren, who did a pretty decent job last year, and Jake Hansen, who they brought back on a non-exclusive deal. So I think they'll continue to build in the draft. But now that they bring in a pretty solid line in terms of the draft, I don't know if they'll have to go with an offensive tackle in the draft at number 10. I think
here's where I break you.
Hold on. They have either room to move up and draft a premier receiver or trade down to get more depth at receiver. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you're gonna break me. Go ahead.
All right.
It's been broken enough as it is as a Jets fan. Listen,
okay.
My sports year for the last year has been nothing but brokenness, with the Yankees being terrible last year, the Jets giving me hope and then shooting me down, and the Devils now playing like garbage, although they won the other night in Dallas. So
let's not talk about that, Brian. We're not talking about that.
We talk about
and Jake Allen's first start as a New Jersey
Jesus
Devil.
Christ. We talk about the Jets all the time, and the big talk of the Jets last year was, had Aaron Rodgers not gone down, let's quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Any of you guys want to talk about the elephant in the room with quarterbacks this offseason?
Tyrod Taylor.
Who's available potentially over in the Windy City?
Justin Fields. Yes.
So here is my proposal for the Jets and the Bears.
We got the Mr. Burns finger taps going.
Oh, here we go. No. Go back here. Get back here.
Oh, man.
Just hear me out. He
faded out altogether. Look at this.
Just hear me out. I am not saying for the Fields to go to the Jets.
Oh, thank God.
I am not. I am saying if you're Chicago and if you wanted to trade Justin Fields, you probably would have done it by now.
Yeah.
So the Bears currently have, what do they have? The 1st and the 9th pick in the draft?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
So we're all just going to assume that the Bears are trading Justin Fields, right? Right.
They have to eventually. If they're not using him, they have to trade him. You can't have him in the locker room. You can't.
What happens if? But here's what happens. What happens when you assume, Dan?
Exactly.
Nobody's assuming anything. All right.
We're not assuming anything, but that's just what sports media in our field is projecting is going to happen. Who is the overall number 1 prospect in the 2024 NFL draft? I will tell you who it is.
Caleb Williams.
Marvin Harrison Jr.
That's right.
Oh yes. Yeah.
If they want to keep Justin Fields and trade down to 3rd and get Marvin Harrison Jr.
No, I will double down on this. Okay. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. gets taken number 1.
That doesn't work.
Marvin Harrison Jr. gets taken number 1. And you have your receiving core already has just traded for Keenan Allen.
Yes.
You already have DJ Moore.
Move.
You already have DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
You have Justin Fields, who you look at his stats, had a pretty good year. Had a really good year considering the fact that the Bears quarterbacks are dumpster fires year after year. Had a really good year. I'm not also sure if Caleb Williams is going to be that guy.
No, there's enough people that are questioning that as well.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense. Why would you take Caleb Williams number 1 if Justin Fields had a good year and you want to make him better? You take Marvin Harrison Jr. number 1 overall. Now here's where the Jets come in, Ryan.
Ooh, okay, go ahead.
Here's where the Jets come in.
And I'll piggyback off your Marvin Harrison Jr. Theory.
Are you willing to make a trade with your most hated rival?
Funny you say that because Joe Douglas has done that. He traded.
Are you willing? The Patriots might trade down if this receiver class in the draft is stupid deep. What say you the Patriots and the Jets swap first round picks and the Jets take a quarterback at number 3? Because let's be honest here, your biggest question, your biggest question, your entire season rides on Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, no doubt.
If he goes down, who is your option? Tyrod Taylor?
Hey, Tyrod.
But the only reason why they signed Tyrod is because Jacoby Brissett went back to New England.
Okay,
I would have loved to have him instead of Tyrod, but hey, Tyrod was available on the market, and he only has to move 40 minutes west from East Rutherford to Florham Park.
But you're drafting at 10.
Right.
You're drafting at 10. If you want to take a quarterback, you can do that. But if you want to gamble and let's say you go after the Drake Mays of the world, the Jaden Daniels of the world, hell, maybe JJ McCarthy if he decides. If you
want JJ McCarthy, you could probably stay where you are and get him.
Ooh.
Yeah, he's right. Kevin's right.
Let me interject about JJ McCarthy. If the Jets pick JJ McCarthy, I will run out and buy his jersey. I will do it because my last name. Well, I have to because my last name's McCarthy.
Yeah.
Then in that case,
fair enough.
Then in that case,
I've got like 3 Wilson jerseys in my closet that will support
that. Kevin, I got to ask, do you have a Luke Wilson jersey, though?
I do not. I must confess.
You got to get that one. You got to get that
Shocker. But you see probably you're cheaper. You see what I'm saying, though, right? You see what I'm saying, though.
I get what you're doing, but
if you want to trade up.
But you're not Joe Douglas, and neither am I.
No, I'm not. I would rather not be Joe Douglas. I like my hair. Thank you.
Oh, man.
I got hair, so I'm good.
Come join us, Staniel.
I did shave my head this past summer. I was told with the earrings and everything, I look like a bearded Mr. Clean.
Oh no.
That's your name from now on when you come on the show. I'm calling you BMC.
Mr. Clean, Staniel Smooth.
Now I gotta make an element for that.
But seriously, that's not a bad idea. If you want to take your whole season and potentially next season runs on the literal feet of Aaron Rodgers. If he goes down, you're screwed again. And you might as well take the season and can everyone.
Well, that's why Joe Douglas is rebuilding the offensive line. And to get back to what I was saying before about their projected O-line for this year, if they could stay healthy, because the Jets had 13 different line combinations this past year. So either the medical staff is trash or Keith Carter likes to beat people up in practice. That's why they get injured. But I would ask, who is more happier right now, Aaron Rodgers or Breece Hall? Because you got some guys who can just absolutely just plow over you in the run game, and it's going to be if Breece Hall doesn't get 1,500 yards this year in rushing, I will be very.
Let's slow that roll just a little bit.
I'm just saying, okay.
1,500 scrimmage yards. Let's call it. He's going to get 1,500
now
scrimmage
that
yards.
I can buy. Okay, that I'll buy.
Yeah,
well,
he's going to get 15 scrimmage yards.
I have gone on the record in saying that I think Breece Hall is your next thousand guy, but that's a while. But also to piggyback off of Mr. Staniel's theory about Chicago picking Marvin Harrison Jr. first overall. Guess who that leaves open for Washington to pick?
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, and that's who they want to begin with.
Because Cliff Kingsbury, that Cliff Kingsbury
precisely
connection.
My point.
Yeah,
precisely my point.
Not to jump in here, but to kind of bring it back to the free agency vibe, I think your theory has some legs, Staniel, because the Bears signed Keenan Allen, which I love, because Keenan Allen, he's a veteran, he's a consummate professional, he's an ageless wonder. Who would
got a great beard?
Yes. Who would he be the perfect? He's also a little follically challenged up top, but we won't hold that against him. He's a great guy. Who would be the best person to teach Marvin Harrison Jr. the ways besides his father? You know, it would be Keenan Allen.
When you got his father, how much teaching do you need?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's but you have some, and also I think I potentially overrate DJ Moore. But that Bears receiving core with Marvin Harrison Jr., Keenan Allen coming out of the slot, and then DJ Moore on the other side, that'd be ridiculous.
And add Cole Kmet at the tight end position.
Oh, that's what I was getting ready to say. Cole Kmet, that is a skill set that Chicago's probably never had.
So exactly, which brings up another point. If you're Chicago, what would you rather do? You built up this offense which can score. Chicago can score if they can. Or would you rather hit the reset button all over again and take Caleb Williams number 1 overall? What would you rather do?
I would have to say
wide receiver.
Yeah. Let me just say, if you want Marvin Harrison Jr., you can't take him at number 1 because you could trade down to number two, get some draft capital, and still wind up with him. I like that a whole lot better. Than you can't take Marvin Harrison Jr. number 1. Somebody wants a quarterback. You trade to 2 or 3, and you still get Marvin Harrison Jr. and you get draft capital. That's what I would do.
Listen. I think. I mean, going off of Kevin's point, I think Ryan Pace is going to fleece somebody again. He did it with the Carolina Panthers last year. He could do it again this year. He's got not only one.
All he has to do is look to the Commanders. They want Williams.
Yeah,
they want him. You fleece them, and you still get Marvin Harrison Jr.
He's going to call you. He's going to call the Jets.
Call me Ryan Pace. No, me. I thought you meant me.
Poles. Ryan Poles. No, he's going to call Ryan Poles is the new Bears GM. Pace got canned years ago. But the other theory I had is Chicago calls Joe Douglas and say, "Hey, how much do you think you can give us for the first overall pick?"
Oh, I'm sure that Joe Douglas has had conversations with Ryan Poles. I'm sure he's having conversation with other GMs in the league, for sure. He's always going to leave that phone on to see who could take
his phone's been on for 2 months now, I'd say.
And then enter the third team in this equation, a team that currently just acquired 2 first-round picks, Minnesota.
Yeah.
The Vikings throw a wrench in everything now. Now they have 2 first-round picks, and do you expect Minnesota to go into the 24-4 season with Sam Darnold as their starter?
Let's crash that plane right out of the gate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at Tankathon.com right now. They're projecting with their mock draft. They project J.J. McCarthy at 11 to Minnesota.
Okay, I've heard that as well.
Where's Penix going?
Michael Penix is
he going at 16? Is he passing 16?
They have him going at 44 to the Raiders.
Seattle needs to trade down then. Seattle's trading down, and they're going to take Penix.
Well, they also have Bo Nix they also have Bo Nix at 47 to the Giants.
I don't see Penix lasting that long.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see Penix or Nix lasting that long.
Penix and Nix are both going in the first round because a lot of these teams need a quarterback. And Seattle's probably the best available option. Ryan Grubb, the former Huskies offensive coordinator, is now currently the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many of us want to bet that Penix is a Seahawk by May?
This is not the first time I've heard that.
Yeah, I haven't heard this 1,000 times.
I don't know. I don't know if I want to take that bet because I feel like somehow sometimes when this team you think it's obvious what they're going to do. They kind of zag and surprise you. But I will say they are taking a lot of former UW standouts. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the center that they just acquired from, what was it?
Nick
Cleveland?
Harris.
Yeah, he was UW, right?
He was UW.
They are going the UW direction. So I would be happy if they brought Penix in, because no disrespect to Sam Howell, I think Sam Howell has shown some promise. I think it's another, he's still young enough to where if he can be developed and rein in some of the interceptions, it could be a good move.
If he doesn't lead the league in sacks, that would be awesome as well.
Yeah.
Shout out to Russell Wilson.
And you gotta say his name right. Sam Howell. That's how you say it. I can't win with this guy.
Yeah. He's coming for you with the soundboard. He's coming for you.
You're running into a wall with that one.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was our Loch Ness Monster free agency and thanks, Yoshi.
What in the world?
That was our Loch Ness Monster free agency and draft tracker.
Yeah.
I need about 350.
We'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the prayer circle for Gerrit Cole worked. We'll be right back after this message from our sponsor, Invader Coffee. This episode of No Credentials Required is brought to you by Invader Coffee. For the coffee lover who wants good, quality coffee with no bullshit and no filler, Invader Coffee is an ultra-premium, veteran-owned coffee company proudly delivering only the best coffee your hard-earned money can buy. They aim to only serve the highest quality, organic, air-roasted coffee beans sourced from free trade farms all over the world. They keep things simple. The best coffee at an affordable price in order to provide you with the value you deserve for your morning boost. 100% fair trade, 100% organic coffee beans, 100% air-roasted, 100% money-back guarantee. Visit invadercoffee.com, enter promo code BELLYUP at checkout, and receive 15% off your order. That's right, folks. I've been sipping on it since the beginning of the show. Dustin's has a cup of it in his mug. Invader Coffee.
I've got Mountain Dew over here, so I'm not following your lead on that.
Kevin, we don't have an ad break for Mountain Dew.
Although Mountain Dew, if you want to sponsor us, come on.
At 8 a.m?
That's right. That's right.
But back to our friends at Invader.
Yes, back to our friends at Invader Coffee. Yes, the U.S. veteran-owned. Do you love your fellow veterans? Kevin's a veteran. Kevin's a U.S. Navy veteran. I'm sure he's going to get himself a pound of Invader Coffee after the break, after our show. But you can get yourself some Invader Coffee by using our affiliate link in the description on either YouTube, podcast, or Facebook. And you can save 15% off your order with the promo code BELLYUP at checkout. They are a proud affiliate of Belly Up Sports. And I got myself the K-Cups because we were undergoing some kitchen remodeling, which is completed. And the K-Cups are great. If you're looking for a quick hit of coffee in the morning, if you want to take it easy, get yourself some fresh ground beans with some of their great blends. I've got a couple of the Bad Santa. I still have the Bad Santa, their holiday blend. They've also got a St. Patrick's Day blend, which you can still get, but you can also go with the OG Invader Coffee, break in case of an emergency, many more other blends at our affiliate link down below in the description. Invader Coffee. Support your veterans, support this show, and support Belly Up Sports with promo code BELLYUP at checkout.
Yeah, I got a restock. I just finished off my cookie crumble. That was the last of it that you just saw me drink right there. I'm a little sad, but it's okay. I have many other flavors in the cabinet. And so I'll probably crack open the break in case of emergency next. Looking forward to it.
That's a good blend. Highly recommend it. All right, gentlemen. Whether you're a Yankee fan or, in Kevin's case, a fantasy baseball guy, the Gerrit Cole prayer circle worked. No Tommy John, but he is shut down indefinitely, at least for the next month. Yes. And I'm going to actually, Kevin, I'm going to give it over to you in terms of fantasy baseball implications. What does this mean for fantasy baseball owners everywhere?
Well, it's good that some news came out about this because our Belly Up League is drafting tomorrow.
Ooh.
And so I have the number 5 overall pick, and Gerrit Cole was a top 5 player in fantasy baseball. But this news makes that takes that completely off the board. And from what I've seen, he dropped to number 40. And I think that's still a little bit rich because you don't know when he's going to pitch. That puts him in the 5th round. He pretty much makes him undraftable to me. And so, because you're going to if he was going to come out maybe in the teens, I could see maybe drafting him and stashing him, but he's going to, you're going to have to put a higher draft pick than I'm willing to give for somebody that you don't know when he's going to pitch next. And so, unfortunately, at number 5, because there's a player that I've been targeting this entire time, and if you've been watching the Sports Stove show, you probably know who I'm referring to. I'm not going to say it here because I don't want anyone else to take him, but that puts it in jeopardy for me at number 5. This Gerrit Cole news puts that in jeopardy. So it's going to shift my entire draft strategy. I just know it because I'm not going to get the player I want now.
All right. Well, that was our fantasy baseball minute. But as a Yankee fan, Dustin, how does this news settle with you?
Well, for me, I'm happy that he doesn't need Tommy John. But at the same time, I am a little bit worried because any Yankee fan will remember Masahiro Tanaka. He pitched through the injury and he did well, but I would argue he was never really the same after that. And so you wonder, okay, is it going to be one of these situations? Is it going to be, and they've already come out. I mean, obviously they've named Nestor Cortez the opening day starter now. But to Kevin's point, it's kind of a wild card because you don't know when Cole is going to pitch again. And like I said, although it is positive news that he doesn't need Tommy John, that doesn't entirely, for me, rule it out, further down the line. Maybe he rehabs and he's coming back and they're like, oh, turns out he does need Tommy John. Now, I'm hoping that does not happen, but I'm just getting Masahiro Tanaka vibes from this. So I'm a little worried because as we discussed on Tuesday's show, pitching has been the Yankees' Achilles heel for years now.
Yeah, especially starting pitching. I mean, they're both been pretty good.
Yeah, if Nestor Cortez is your opening day starter, that is not good.
Yeah. It's no shade against Nasty Nestor, but he regressed a little
number
bit.
2 or 3, you're fine, but number 1, that's a problem.
Yep. I agree wholeheartedly, but so that's my thoughts on it. But I'm interested to see what everybody else thinks here.
All right, we're going to curb our enthusiasm here with Staniel Smooth here. So, Mr. Smooth, please provide us your thoughts.
In the Seahawks department, the Seahawks currently have almost $18 million in cap space as of right now. Anyway, I digress. This fan base is terrible because this New York fan base continues to say like, oh, we need to get Blake Snell, we need to get Dylan Cease, we need to get this guy.
I'm Blake Snell at $290 million a year, whatever it is he wants. No.
So, and I'm sorry, Papa George ain't around anymore. Let's be real here, ladies and gentlemen. You're not going to go buy every single player. And because of his ass, baseball's going to have a salary cap potentially in the next few years.
It's never going to happen. Never.
I will die on this hill. I will die on this hill.
You could die on it. The players will never agree. Never.
And that's fine. But all of a sudden, everyone in Yankee Kingdom is losing their shit because of this whole thing. And honestly, I'm a cynical Yankee fan. I'm a Yankee fan, but I'm a cynical fan. And I will say this whole thing. God, I want this team to suffer so bad.
Hey, As a Dodger guy, I'm right there hoping that as well. That's
Okay,
all.
you can't talk. You signed everyone.
Yeah.
But like my whole point of this whole thing is Cole's gonna be fine. He's gonna be out for like 3 or 4 months, and this team is relying heavily on Gerrit Cole. They can't hit their batting average is what, 210?
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you're basically banking on Gerrit Cole to be like mid-90s Pedro Martinez. Like, it's not going to happen. And you're banking on Nestor Cortez as well. Marcus Stroman and his dip ass can't.
Oh, no. That's the problem.
He was requested, hey, we need you to pitch on opening day. It was like, nope, I want to pitch on the home opener. Like, what? So
Marcus Stroman is like Two-Face. You got good Marcus Stroman, you got bad Marcus Stroman. You don't know which is coming.
That's right.
Marcus Stroman is like that blonde teenage girl in the bar that says, I don't know, ask me out. No, don't ask me out. No, ask me out. Don't ask me out. Like, what? Pick something, you indecisive mofo.
That sounded like a little real.
Jesus.
I was not big on Marcus Stroman to begin with, so that's a problem. And because everybody's saying, "Hey, Marcus Stroman in the first half was fine."
Long Island guy, by the way,
but
Marcus Stroman from Pet Med.
Awful in the second half, and so I wouldn't want him on my team. That's all I'll say.
No, I would have wanted Marcus Stroman post World Cup of Baseball, a World Baseball Classic in 2017, because that Marcus Stroman was lights out,
diamond.
Well, that's 7 years ago. We're lucky.
7 years ago, yeah.
The world is still here. That that's good enough right there. But if you're Marcus Stroman from 2017, you've got issues.
Yeah, I would like to go back. I would like to go in the Wayback Machine and get him. But I'm looking at an article. I mean, granted, it's from February 14th of this year on MLB.com about the best free agents still available. And according to them, the big four, quote unquote, big four were Blake Snell, Jordan Montgomery, Cody Bellinger, and Matt Chapman. I think Matt Chapman signed with a team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he signed with the Giants.
Yes, thank you. I was going to say it was a West Coast team. I just couldn't remember which one.
Yeah.
Okay, so why haven't the Yankees signed Montgomery is the big question here.
That, I was getting to
better option than Snell. I don't understand
it's
it.
Name disorder. It's big name disorder. It's
That's
like
what it is.
To throw a Monty Python reference in there. It's biggest.
I appreciate that.
Why does everyone laugh at Biggest Dickus?
Hell, FIFA.
Oh, but I still maintain.
Go ahead, Dustin.
I told Ryan, if the Yankees sign Blake Snell, get some Tums, get some Rolaids, whatever heartburn medication.
Because he's going to walk 5 guys in 7 innings.
Yeah.
Get in the rotation of Nexium because you're going to need it for the next.
If you want to get out, you want to break it down, Rolaids.
So in the same article, they also mentioned the mid-rotation options: Hyunjin Ryu, Michael Lorenz, and Mike Clevenger.
Well, if you talk about Rue from 4 years ago, now we're on to something, but no.
Yeah, well, and didn't Ryu somebody signed a contract to go back to Japan? Was that Ryu, or am I thinking?
I think he went to Korea.
Okay.
That's where he's from originally. So, yes, the Yankees do suffer from big splash syndrome because it's a New York media market. That's how you get your notoriety is you make a big splash. The Jets have done it before. Right. The Giants have done it before. Every New York team in the New York market has done this.
Maybe there's something going on there because Jordan Montgomery pitched for the Yankees, if you'll remember.
Yes, he was their best left-handed prospect. They traded him for Harrison Bader. Well, you see how that worked out. And then he went to the Rangers at the trade deadline last year.
Yes, right. And he was huge down the stretch.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason. Maybe he doesn't want anything to do with the Yankees.
So explain this question then. Why is he still available?
Because of his agent. That explains that. Scott Boras.
Of course.
There it is. There it
Of course it is. God, for fuck.
Tell us how you really feel.
Yeah.
That's the reason why Montgomery's not signed. That's the reason why that it took forever for Chapman to sign, because he doesn't have a good bat, first of all.
Is Scott Boras the Godfather or some shit?
He is.
Yes.
He is. He's got like, he's got like he's got some sort of.
Yeah. And Staniel, that's your corner booth one F-bomb rule. You have
I know. I know.
Just give me a heads up.
I'm sorry I invoked that caused the meltdown.
It was deserved.
Hey, that's not the first time somebody has taken off their headphones and walked away during this live stream.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
This guy.
I did it. I did it.
So
that's a reason why Cody Bellinger signed like a week and a half ago.
I go get donut.
Okay, so Boras, and it's blowing up in Montgomery's face right now. He should be in camp, and Snell, you figure coming off the Cy Young Award, he should be in camp. But even if they sign tomorrow, they're not going to be ready for opening day. So. So, insider, talking about fantasy, both those guys, write them both off your draft list. I'm just saying.
Dan,
because they're going to take a while to stretch and get ready. So, they're going to have to use the first couple months of the season to stretch themselves out and get in shape. So
I assume that they're kind of doing their own thing, but that's not the same as being in camp.
No.
For those of you on the podcast side, Staniel has been so disturbed about Scott Boras as being an agent of Jordan Montgomery that he's gotten his cat, and he's
oh no,
therapy donut.
Is that some cat therapy we're seeing right here?
We're having some kitty
donut,
therapy
yes.
live on the air.
Okay,
It is
we
therapy
support
donut.
that.
Everyone loves Princess Donut.
This is the cat house right here. We support that.
Kevin's cat house.
Princess Donut, the first of her name, destroyer of worlds and consumer of catnip. Okay,
Bravo.
she's done.
Bravo.
There you go.
All right,
Gentlemen,
we're gonna wrap things up with this with a very odd news story that coming from the nation of Canada. We have ourselves Canada with their flag.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, polar bear snowman.
We have ourselves a steroid scandal in curling.
Okay. So explain this, Ryan? How does steroids help you in curling? I'm curious.
I'll give you the context. So apparently, according to the news in Canada, one of the, I guess, best curlers in the world, for her team, one of her teammates was busted for alleged doping, and this is the statement, and the curler's name is Brianne Harris. This is a statement from her skipper, her team captain, and it says, I quote, "In mid-February, Brianne found out she had received a positive test for a banned substance. As a result, she is subject to a provisional suspension from competition until a final decision has been reached. As best can be determined at this time, Brianne was unknowingly exposed to this substance through bodily contact. She has retained counsel and is seeking She's seeking to clear her name. Late last week, Brianne's B sample confirmed the trace presence of the banned substance." They don't say what the banned substance is. "Any silence from Brianne, Team Einerson, Curling Canada, or any of the other parties familiar with this matter was simply due to the need to maintain strict confidentiality while the B sample was being tested. We will continue to have Brianne's back and stand by her through this process. We remain focused on finishing the season on a strong note and will curl to the best of our abilities for our team, our families, sponsors, and our fans. This will be the only statement on the situation. Thank you for your ongoing support." End quote.
Did you say bodily contact?
That's what I heard.
Contact.
Yeah.
Bodily contact.
At which I said, "What the hell?"
Wait, so what bodily contact are we talking about here?
I don't know. It could be anything from just handshakes to exchanging.
You don't get steroids from a handshake. Come on now.
Hold on.
Hold on. I have a joke.
Go ahead.
I have a joke. This is courtesy of our dear friend, may he rest in peace, the late great George Michael.
Okay.
Special kind of whisper, that one.
Yeah. I suspected you were talking about a different George altogether. I thought this was going to be courtesy George Carlin.
I was going to say George Carlin. My God. But bodily contact could be anything. It could be from sweat. It could be from saliva. It could be from the other S word.
Is this going on while they're curling? I'm just curious.
Yes, this was a B sample taken.
No, I'm talking about the body contact. Is this going on while they're curling or what?
Don't know. I don't know what kind of curling you're implicating there, Kevin. But toe curling, I guess. Guys, a steroid scandal in curling. Curling.
Yeah, I could.
Now, however, are they curling their legs?
Oh wow! I think we've reached the apocalypse right about now.
Well, I don't see I don't see four horses coming down from the sky, so we haven't reached that level yet.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, so I mean,
top this. 2 girls, 1 curling match.
Oh boy!
I think
is the trophy a cup?
Oh no! Oh no!
We've gone way off the rails now.
It's that Invader coffee, man. It's that Invader coffee. It'll get you going. Guys, I mean, is this the strangest sport you've ever heard of someone getting busted for doping?
Darts.
Darts. I knew those bullseyes were suspect.
Please hold. Real-time research going on.
I'm sure it exists.
But I will say yes, because when you first texted me this, I'm like, what do you need? That the extra recovery from all the injuries that could happen while doing the sweep real fast.
It makes you sweep faster. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, guys. So Bleacher
or maybe
Report
it makes you sweep deeper. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So, this is an article from 2013 about the weirdest PEDs in sports from BleacherReport.com.
Is darts on there?
Hold on. It's from 11 years ago. So we had Manny Ramirez. I don't know.
Oh, geez. Now we're way off base.
No. From the Oakland A's. So I don't know if it was a different Manny Ramirez.
I think he did sign with Oakland at some point.
So it says, after failing a drug test in 2009, Oakland A's slugger Manny Ramirez came out and admitted to taking a substance banned by MLB's joint drug agreement. His drug of choice, the female fertility booster HCG.
I remember that now. Yeah, that's Manny Ramirez.
Doc Ellis pitched a no-hitter on LSD.
We remember that.
That's right.
Smoke weed every day.
NFL players have been busted for Adderall.
Oh yeah.
Ray Lewis recovered from deer antler spray, allegedly.
I don't have a sound for that.
Yeah, I don't have a sound for that either.
I don't either.
Oh, here we go. Marlon Byrd was suspended for tamoxifen, a drug designed to block estrogen and slow the growth of breast tissue in patients with breast cancer.
Whoa, I don't know what he would be using that for.
For enhancing his. God, I don't know.
Yeah.
Tamoxifen is used to stop
if the
cells
name
in the
was
chest.
Marion Bird, maybe I could see it.
So tamoxifen is used to stop cells in the chest from receiving signals to replicate and is used by players in order to stifle the side effects of steroids, such as boobs, man boobs.
Yeah. So it's like they're creating their own cocktails and balancing things out. Yeah.
Right.
But I'd say the curling takes the cake for me, because what do you need performance enhancers for?
I know from curling, I've been to curling places before. I tried it out during one of the Olympics. I can't remember what it was. The 2002 Olympics, I think. And they have beers after their matches. So I thought it was 16-ounce curls, to be honest with you. But I don't know. This might be the weirdest I've seen in terms of doping in sports getting busted. Curling.
I can top this.
Oh boy.
Oh, we really need to sit down now.
Professional Darts Corporation darts player Kevin McDine has been suspended from all sports for a period of 2 years following an anti-doping rule violation. Mr. McDine tested positive for the presence of prohibited substance benzoyl. Whatever the hell that says, a metaboline of cocaine use following an in-competition test of November 27, 2017, during a World Championship PDPA qualifier event in Milton Keynes, which I'm assuming is somewhere across the pond in Europe.
Britain.
Thank you. The Darts Regulatory Authority, the DRA, contracted UKAD to carry out testing at the event, as UKAD conducts only contracted testing for darts.
Oh, man.
Mr. McGee was charged with an ADRV persuasive I can't speak today. And Article 2.1 of the anti-doping rules, presence of a prohibited substance where its metabolines or markers in an athlete's sample, which fill in the blanks from there. This is so yes, a doping scandal in darts, ladies and gentlemen.
It was a high stakes game of cricket. All right,
that's right.
He needed it. He needed it.
Yeah, we gotta stay awake in those lulls between taking your turn. You know, that's why the coke. That's where the coke comes from.
Apparently you need a couple of bumps during darts. You know,
EFOBs, EFOB bumps.
As if the beers wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh, geez.
All right. So before we end the show, we're gonna take a visit to the comments section. I forgot to do this after the break, but
oh man, we probably
we'll
got
go ahead and visit.
Okay, now we really need to take a seat.
All right. So Sapna with the sports ball comment. Brother Josiah saying good morning. Bagpipes the best, and UHF is such a hilarious movie. It's top 10 comedy films for me. I mean, weird.
Go to the next one. Go to the next one.
Oh, so this one from my buddy, from friend of the show, Sig Diggy, coming in from Norway. He says,
"Yes,
how come Kevin Wilson looks like Dusty Rhodes?"
We got our own American dream right on the podcast right here.
So let me ask this: is that a good or a bad thing?
It's a very good
compliment.
Thing.
That's a compliment. Dusty Rhodes, one of the greatest pro wrestlers, may he rest in peace, of all time.
Yes.
Okay. I was just wondering. So okay, I'll take that. I'll take it.
Let me give you that old American dream. Let me tell you what, Mama Bear.
Like a monkey. We need Kevin. This is what we need Kevin to do for the show. We need him to read. We need him to read the Hard Times promo.
Oh man,
yes!
That's one of the greatest promos.
Hard Times.
Or just dress up as Gold Dust.
Oh no one should be subjected to dressing up as Gold Dust
or Stardust.
Yeah, Stardust.
Or Stardust.
Now we're really going down.
Yeah.
Or just dress up as Harley Race.
The King Harley Race. King Harley Race.
Hall of Famer Harley Race, by the way.
Hall of Famer. Yes, absolutely. Snowman Chicken In sings ref ball. Sickney also continues with his ad. Says round table of ball busting is brought to you by Kimmel Clutch Wrestling Academy. Either we make you champions or we make you humble.
This segment is brought to you by the letter Q for questioning my life choices.
And Chicago's Southside Slapbox Academy. Let the scrabbing be slapping.
Hey,
Jersey G checking in. Good morning. Can't stay because I'm visiting my daughter in Provo, but go Cougs! Yeah,
Cougs, they got blown out yesterday, so that's really not traveling very well.
Well, hey, I mean, anytime you can get to see your college daughter who's out in Provo, at BYU, go for it. Go for it. All right, we're gonna close things. We're gonna close things up. Before we go, we're gonna let our guests promote their stuff. I'm gonna bring in with you, Kevin. Kevin, where can we find you, sir?
Well, you can always find me on the Belly Up Fantasy website. I've been writing articles about fantasy baseball since the new year began. I've got my positional tiers there. And so get over there, check it out. And Sports Stove Baseball every Sunday night. You will definitely want to check us out this Sunday. As I mentioned before, we're having a live draft. And we're having guys that are in our league coming on during the draft to explain some of their strategies, why they did what they did. So if you're into fantasy baseball, you definitely want to get over there and check that out. So, and you can always find me on Twitter or X or whatever the heck it is now at Kevin62 WILSEA.
All right, Mr. Smooth. Where can the people find you? You're saying keep on, bum.
You caught me off guard there.
You got a little something on your nose.
We gotta gift that. We gotta gift that one.
Please don't gift that.
Where can the people find you, sir?
Long Island's own Time to BS with Staniel Smooth on. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I got to catch my breath there. Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at Time to BS Podcast and at Staniel Smooth. You can find us on YouTube at Time to BS Podcast. We'll be posting more episodes of Time to BS, the Sports Cave, and BS sessions soon. And Apple and Spotify podcasts.
Boom. There it is. There it is. And as for us, you can find us on a myriad of social media networks, including Twitter, Instagram, and the occasionally used TikTok at NoCredsREQ. Again, if it's still around next week, Facebook.com/NoCredsREQ, YouTube.com/ at NoCredsREQ. And again, on the podcast side, subscribe on your favorite podcast platform, including those ones. And if you would, please leave a 5-star rating. And if you're on a platform where you can review, please leave us a review. We might even read it on the air. That has been another edition of No Crunches Required, the Saturday Brunch edition, where you don't need a press pass to talk sports. We're presented by Belly Up Sports in association with Gozilla Media. For Dustin Henry, for Kevin Wilson, for Staniel Smooth, I'm Ryan McCarthy. And we'll see you on Tuesday when we come back, just me and Dustin. And Dustin still needs about tree fitting. So, yeah. That being said, we'll see you on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.